What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. I'm going to be doing a basically first look gameplay here at Madden 22 for my channel, just so that I can get a feel for what's going on with Madden 22 in terms of the gameplay, whether it's similar to next-gen Madden 21 or not, which I feel like is going to be the case. But maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe I'll be disappointed. We'll see. We're going to jump into a game today, and you guys can feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below as we go through of your observations and everything like that, as well as if you've had the free trial, if you've had the opportunity to play it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and jump into this preseason game, Steelers versus Eagles, and just see how the game feels. The first thing that I want to note whenever we jump into this game here is that I am a fan of the revised presentation system within the entire game. I'm more a fan of the look of things. I still don't feel like Madden 22 is like the perfect example of a realistic football game in terms of the way that like the menus and everything looks. I know that I'm a stickler for presentation in that regard, and I know a lot of other people probably aren't. But I did want to give my comments on that as we jump into this game. The game itself looks really nice. You guys can see that on the screen here. You know, they never really, in my opinion, disappoint in terms of graphics and things like that. You know, presentation, that I think they took a lot of examples from EA's latest NHL game, where they had a very similar color scheme with the neon green. This I like right here. This looks realistic to me. So I'm liking a lot of the presentation factors that go along with Madden 22. I'm really a fan of those things, but really this video is more about the gameplay. So let's go ahead and hop into this one and get beyond the presentation and the graphics and just get a feel for how this plays, get a feel for what this game is like. Like I said, my inkling is that it's going to be very similar to next-gen version of Madden 21, but I could be wrong on that. You know, that's not a guarantee. So let's go ahead. I'm going to hold the skip. We've seen enough of the graphics, and let's go ahead and jump into it. My imagination is that this game is going to feel kind of slow, but for somebody like me that's been playing on the next-gen version of Madden 21, I think that was their first take on the gameplay system that they were looking for in Madden 22. You know, the game played slower on next gen than it did on PS4 version. So, you know, that's something to be in mind. I do like the presentation that's going on with all this stuff. Honestly, this is pretty nice. Okay. So they made, it's very clear that the player system, the player movement and physics right there off the bat in the first play are far different than they even were on Madden 21 on next gen. Players are less agile, as they should be. Players can't cut and change direction as easily as they should. Now, you're still going to get those unsim players that like to run all over the field with linebackers and stuff like that. That's not gonna be a surprise. That's gonna happen. But you guys can't, even with like Devin Bush, like he's not super athletic or anything like that. So I am a fan of what they've done here with the players. Right off the bat, defensively speaking, it feels so much more realistic with these guys. The pass rushing movement and system look pretty much the same. Decent tackling animation. Adrenaline enabled. I'm going to have to get used to what's going on there up at the top of the screen. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've kind of like refrained from, and you guys might even realize that with the way that I've been making videos on my channel, I've kind of refrained from taking in too much information about Madden 22, because like I just didn't want to have like I didn't want to have expectations coming into it. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be either surprised or disappointed, but like reasonably based on what they've actually done with the game. So, you know, first impressions here, I'm liking the feel of it. I'm not going to give a verdict yet on whether this game is good or not, but I'm certainly liking the feel, and it feels more like this could be a better, realistic version of Madden. This could be a more realistic take on you know, simulation football. I will be very curious, since I have some leagues that are like the relocation football league that are, simulation football, full-on simulation. I'd be very curious to see how this type of gameplay is going to affect them. Nice sack there on the edge. The pass rushing feels more realistic. It feels smooth, so I'm liking that so far. I haven't taken a close look on the coverage on the outside to see how that's operating. It seems like the coverage is maybe fixed a little bit in terms of players are closer to their assignment. It's not like they're going to make their play every time, but it's also like, for example, on this play, and this seems to have happened to me a couple times already, the defensive back like comes up and plays his man. So you can see right here that, Hayden doesn't just like stick back here. Like, he's close to his assignment and ready to make a tackle. Now, obviously, if you turn up the sliders a little bit, he might be able to make a play on that and stuff, but that seems much more realistic to me in terms of like how close players are to make plays most of the time, especially on routes like that. In previous Maddens, I feel like that would be a touchdown, because the player would grab it and there'd just be way too much space between them and a defender, because the defender has no clue what they're supposed to be doing. So defensively, liking it so far. That's my verdict so far on the early results that I'm getting out of this one. Go ahead and take a drive on offense here and see what we got going. The running feels smooth. It feels very... Now, this is where I think things will be similar to Madden 21 Next Gen version. That running, I don't know what to call it. I like this a lot. That feels like the routes. Looking at the routes on the screen just like feels more realistic to me. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Seeing the routes and the way all that stuff plays out on the screen. Yeah, this running, at least based off of that run, is exactly the same as Madden 21 Next Gen version. So this is where I'm thinking the similarities come in. So they did make a nice change on defense. Now, one thing that I'll say, and I'm going to test this out right here, this streak with the tight end. I'm curious if the matching coverage is going to fix that. Kind of. Ben Roethlisberger going to slide? No? Okay, not as easy to slide, especially not with Ben, it seems like. Where was I going with that? I don't remember where I was going with that. Oh, one thing I'll say is, so yeah, they've made that nice improvement to the player motion on defense, but I'm going to be honest with you, they've done this before in the past, and I'm going to be honest right now about it. Depending on how things go, once the MUT players and the competitive players start complaining about the fact that it's too hard to user cover, it's impossible to get a user pick with a linebacker, I can't cover 90% of the field with one guy. Once those guys start getting to their complaining that they normally do, you guys are going to start seeing these things get changed. And so, like, the player movement is nice right now on defense. I wouldn't count on that being the exact same whenever the game officially releases. And I certainly wouldn't count on that being the exact same whenever a full-on update comes out for this game. So enjoy it now if you have the opportunity. But like I said, once those competitive gameplay, those players start complaining and stuff like that, that's just how it goes. Eventually, it's going to get changed to something that's unsim or unrealistic, however you want to call it. It's just the reality of the situation. This running feels very good. I'm very curious about the blocking. Who's number 29? Kalen Ballage. Maybe I need to be actually paying attention to this guy for this season. We could have a really nice duo of running backs on the Steelers if Ballage actually does well. From what I've heard, is he looked decent in preseason so far. I mean, I like the way he runs in the game here. Power runners are definitely going to be much more viable. Just getting absolute speed is not necessarily going to win you games like it has in the past. And that was the case in Next Gen Madden 21. If you played that at all, you could tell a difference between it and Madden 21 regular version in the fact that speed is not absolute king in this type of football environment. Lodge trucks forward, gets himself down to the 1. Yeah, the running feels really good, and that was actually something that I was pretty confident in once I had played next-gen version of Madden 21, was that I think they figured out the running system, personally, and it seemed that way. Good catch. Defender probably should have reacted to that, so that's one where I'm like questioning it. So I was playmakering there, trying to test out, how effective playmaker would be. Number one, it took forever for this tight end to like start to move. Like, I started to playmaker this tight end right here and tell him to move to the right, and you can see he doesn't start to move until there. That's when he starts to move on the playmaker. So, I mean, maybe I'll have to test this out a little bit more. Maybe playmaker is going to be nerfed a little bit, and that would be fantastic. But again, once the competitive players and the MUT players start to complain, that's going to be nerfed. And that, you'll see that guy break to the right away once you playmaker him right here. But you guys can see all this time, and then he finally starts to move right there. That defender probably should have like put a hand up in the air. That's the thing that I was like, what's going on there? This guy should probably like reach back and try to make a play. But I mean, if that's the worst of my concerns of what I've seen from this game so far, I'm not too worried, to be quite honest with you. Then again, here's the thing that you have to understand, especially if you're newer to my channel. I'm not an EA hater. I don't just hate on Madden for the sake of hating on Madden because it's popular. I feel like there's a lot of people that do that. That's its own niche. I'm not a part of that niche. I'm here to be helpful about the game that is here. I didn't feel like Madden 21 was an absolute garbage game like a lot of people say it is, and that's fine. We're allowed to have different opinions, whether you feel differently on that or not. That's fine. That's absolutely fine, and I'm not going to fault you for that. You can believe what you want to believe, and I can believe what I want to believe, but I honestly thought Madden 21, especially with the pass rushing system and stuff like that, made improvements. Obviously, it was not a great game, but then once they got it onto next gen, it was actually pretty solid outside of the fact that players ran into each other constantly. Deep ball. Man, you got to catch that. Joe Flacco with the arm. What a throw. And Joe Flacco played well in the actual game. Like, so Joe Flacco is he starting for the Eagles this year? Like, I'm not gonna lie. So, like, that division is kind of wide open. Like, Cowboys, I guess if Dak is healthy, division's not quite wide open. But, like, if Joe Flacco has, like, an amazing return to form, and can hit his targets, there are some nice young receivers on this team with some potential to grow, and the Eagles aren't that bad. They're in a horrible cap situation from my understanding, and they haven't done a lot to alleviate that cap situation yet. Like, guys like Zach Ertz and whatnot probably should have been traded a long time ago. But sorry, kind of side tangent, Joe Flacco just being impressive to me. He still has an arm. And I feel like that team did not do a lot to help him out whenever he was on the Ravens. They just did not commit to drafting receivers ever. And to be honest, I feel like their offensive line only got good once Flacco left, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, being a Steelers fan, that's my take on it, but... Oh, what was that? Okay, so I'm going to have to replay that one because I was trying to throw to circle and for some reason he didn't throw the ball. Just getting a quick breakdown of what's going on here. So I roll out to the right. I see circle coming open right here. I hit the throw button. And maybe because I cut? Maybe because like I changed direction or something? Because I'm holding to the left here. I'm holding to the left on the left stick with the throw button to try to lead the receiver to the left. You can see him bring this up like he's going to throw it. And so like I'm holding to the left to make sure that this ball goes in this space, like ahead of the receiver. And then he cuts back in. And then that's questionable. I'm not a fan of that animation. Was it a pitch? Was he pitching that? No, I mean, it looks like it's caused by the... Can somebody explain this to me? Is there an EA developer watching this video that can figure out what's going on here? Is there anybody that can figure out what's going on here? Is there anybody here that knows an EA developer that can get this to an EA developer and figure out what this is? Because that is an issue that should be reported before the game comes out. He's not even touched yet. Ball is falling out of his hand for literally no reason. What is that? I'm very confused by that. It's kind of funny, kind of sad at the same time. Not surprising. This is a free trial of a game that is pre-release. I would hope that that would be fixed prior to the release of the game, though. I don't know. There we go. Nice sack. The coverage does feel smooth, so what I will say is while these players aren't as fast, and I guess if I'm like sprinting, I can still kind of do the user lurk bull crap where I sprint around and try to get a pick. But you know, if I'm playing this realistic and I'm you know, I'm backpedaling into coverage and stuff like that, it feels smooth. It's not like the slow players make it not feel smooth. You know what I mean? There, nice touchdown. Justin Lane gets burnt on the outside. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this half because otherwise this video is going to run long. So we'll go down and try to score on this drive before half. We have all 3 timeouts. We might as well try to make something happen and see if we can't get any more interesting stuff to happen that causes us to fumble without being touched. I had to have hit a pitch button or something like that, right? Like, I don't think I did, but I had to have, right? Like, that couldn't have been a animation like he got hit and the ball came out that early because it was a hit animation. At least I hope that's not the case. Come on, jump ball, Freiermouth. Break the tackle. Oh, what a play. Juke move. Oh, my God, Pat Freiermouth with the amazing play. Holy crap. I gotta see it again, guys. Wow, that was nice. Oh, okay. Maybe this is a restricted feature because of the fact that we're in a trial system of the game. But, key point here, the replay is only starting with the ball in the quarterback's hands. Probably because it's a longer play, but it no longer, at this replay, is starting with the ball under center. With the ball in the center's hand, rather. It's not starting pre-play. So it's starting, quarterback already has it, is already back in his drop back, gets hit as he throws, stands in there and makes a nice throw. High ball, and leads the receiver, which I'm impressed by. That's a very good throwing animation. That's a very good ball. The ball is not, you know, a lot of times in the last Madden, you get hit when you're throwing like that, or somebody's, you know, near you when you're throwing that ball, and that ball's like 5 yards short, or it's like over here behind the receiver. The ball is going in the correct direction. It's at least like leading the receiver, which NFL quarterbacks do. Even if you're not great, you lead the receiver. So, you know, missing by a little bit is not that big of a deal, but he puts that on target. Pat Freiermouth goes up and gets it and then sheds the tackle. Fantastic play by him. Jukes a guy, and I like the little juke animation. I don't know that that would quite fake out a defender the way it did, but I mean, it is a practice squad player or a depth type of player. Makes the move, gets upfield, all the way down to the 25-yard line. Really, really nice play there. I liked a lot of what I saw out of that. Kind of tempted to like toss this one up to Freiermouth after that. We'll just dump it off over the middle. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have to make another comment here. This is a good one. This is a good oh my goodness. I don't know if this is consistent. I'm going to have to test it out. But one of my major complaints about gameplay in Madden for a long time has been that the quarterback has no clue how to lead the receiver. Even on a bullet throw, has no clue how to lead the receiver. Watch where this ball is thrown. In front of the receiver. And guess what? The receiver doesn't have to turn around or slow down to make the catch. I'm hoping this is a consistent thing. I'm hoping that they fix this with animations. I am so sick of receivers having to stop to catch the football whenever they're running in stride, because either the quarterback doesn't know how to lead the receiver or the receiver doesn't know how to catch the ball in stride. This man catches the ball in stride and keeps going. That is a thing of beauty. That is real football right there. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that we got to see that here, and I'm hoping that that's the case regularly within this game. I can't guarantee that, but, you know, that's my hope anyway. All right, incomplete pass. 39 seconds left. We got a lot of plays out of this bunch formation. I'm going to go with the verticals just to see if this is, like, as broken as it used to be. Yeah, it is. Firemouth gets us down to the 1 yard line. We'll let some time wind off the clock. Why not? I do think it's worthwhile to test out to see if some other plays are broken that are normally broken. So let's go with our mesh play here on the goal line that almost always gets us a touchdown to the halfback. It looks like somebody's actually covering it. Nope. Okay, wide open. As broken as always. We go up before half. I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at the gameplay. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you agree with some of my analysis? Obviously, I'm doing it real time as the plays are going, so I'm not going to catch everything. Let me know anything else you saw from the video that that stood out to you, pointed out in the comment section, and we can get a conversation going about this game. If you guys have had an opportunity to play it, let me know your thoughts on it. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.